So FHFA announced another thing within the last week. So basically had an update on the new credit rollouts. So what they are doing, essentially, they're rolling out several new credit models that are going to be mass available for lenders to use. It's going to include other things into like utilities, rent payments, things like that. That I believe are going to be beneficial to people out there who are making payments but may not have the credit cards or raising the debt needed to actually build a credit score, which is a good thing financially.
Right. So what are they doing now?
They're basically are additional. It's not going to just be Equifax, TransUnion, just not the normal FICO model. They're rolling several new models out.
TransUnion altogether.
Yeah. But what is essentially what I'm excited about this is it's going to create competition, because right now in it, everyone requires the three: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. It's essentially a monopoly. They can do whatever they want to. They recently, not many people are talking about it. They recently drastically raised their prices.
Drastically.
It's over $50 like a person.
$54 a person now.
It's
and
insane.
That's on the low end. Some other, yeah.
It's insane. And you really have no recourse to shop around because you have to use those three. What else they do, and you just mentioned this, TransUnion in particular, if you have a mortgage pull, they will sell that information. Hey, this person just pulled their credit to other lenders.
And then you get call after call after call after call after call from these, I call them sweatshops of lenders. They're like they're retail mortgage lenders. They pay for what they call trigger leads. TransUnion sells it to make more of a profit after already charging you to track your credit that is required to be tracked. And then you get a million phone calls from salespeople, and they're sweatshops. They're the Movement Mortgages of the world. They're the Reliance First Capitals of the world. I don't know if they're the Movements. I just wanted to take a shot at Movement, but they're the Reliance First Capital of the world. They're the Go Mortgage. They're the Motto Mortgages. Who else? Let's see. They're the Wyndham Capitals. And I'm taking some shots at some big lenders. So if I don't show up tomorrow, I did not commit suicide. I wouldn't. I believe in living, son. But anyway, so what are they doing? They're giving us more options on these credit reports.
Correct. That's the good news, is that they are working on actually rolling out several different options that are going to be utilized.
Great.
Not only is it going to incentivize and give an advantage to home buyers by alternative credit sources like rent, people who are actually making their payments on time.
Who is it going to get reported to?
There's different companies.
So different companies but they still take into consideration credit card payments, mortgage payments, but you can add rent payments to it.
Correct. It just is alternative on top of it. It includes alternative like utility payments,
right. Yep.
Rent payments, things like that for people who are making payments but may not want to go out there. I don't want to get
this is good.
Credit card debt. Yeah, which is great.
I love this.
So it's called the FICO 10T and Vantage Score 4.0 are a couple examples.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How quickly until lenders adopt this?
That's the bad news.
Do you know who?
What? So phase one, which is basically they're going to have the models and everything completed, are going to be third quarter of 2024. Their estimated phase two, which is going to be rolling it out to lenders and creditors, is Q4 of 2025. So we're over 2 years out.
Do you think Dave Ramsey's still going to be alive then? I know he's in his 60s, upper 60s. And I say that out of all due respect because I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan, and Dave Ramsey preaches not taking out credit cards and not doing debt. And I think Donovan asked a question last week on the podcast about whether I thought credit card debt is a good thing. And I said no, because I don't think a majority of people are responsible enough to utilize it correctly. Because if 3 out of 5 people don't have a budget, you should not have a credit card.
Right.
Now, with that being said, this creates a way for us not to have credit cards.
Exactly.
Because you can put your utility on there, your phone bill on there, your gas payment, like you
can
have
car insurance, like payments that everyone is making that you could do diligently and on time, show the restraint not to take out credit card debt that could put you in a bad situation.
Right.
But you're being negatively impacted that when you're looking to buy a car right now, when you're looking to buy a car, when you're looking to buy a home, because this
allows the Dave Ramsey model to work. Don't take out credit card debt. You can get a mortgage through other non-traditional credit like this. So if I'm making a payment on something, why shouldn't it count?
And it's increasing different options, which increases competition, makes everything better.
Well, and then on the other side of it is now people are buying only what they can afford. So they're not having to worry about, say they don't take out a credit card, you're only buying what you can afford and what's in your bank account or what cash you have on you, but you're still making your other bill payments on time. Guess what? There's going to be more money being able to be spent within the economy.
Right.
There's going to be less people getting hit for their credit score and their credit score lowering. It's going to open up home ownership to more people.
Yes, it will.
So I wonder how heavily those utilities and things will be weighed.
I mean, I have no idea. I guess they don't because they're saying all of that will be released Q3 of 2024.
So quarter 3 of 2024 is about, what, a year and a half away?
Yeah.
So that really means Q3 of 2025. At a minimum, because these things never roll out when they're supposed to. I think it's great. I'm excited.
I mean, it's more options. And we said this last week. Competition breeds winners. Having options are going to give us people way to figure it out and improve things and make it better for everyone.
Right.
I mean, because right now, one of the most frustrating things that I have speaking with our clients is when they're complaining about, hey, why am I getting 100 calls? Because you pull my credit. That is the most frustrating thing because we have nothing. We understand the frustration. It
happened to me.
It's annoying.
I pulled my credit. You pulled my credit. You did a mortgage for me.
Yeah.
You pulled my credit, and I had 100 phone calls, and I own this company.
But there's nothing we can do to stop
it. So I started recruiting them and asked them if they wanted to come work for us.
Right. If we're going to be able to get you a mortgage, you have to be able to pull that. There's no other way around it.
There's no other way around it. We have to see a hard pull as well because the hard pull gives us the information we need. We cannot give you a truly underwritten pre-approval without having a hard pull on your credit, which we do. Which
the difference, with hard pulls, what's the difference?
I'm going to let Ben speak on that.
So, basically, what it is, there's two different types of it. So, a hard pull actually will pull it; it'll report to your credit. So when you look at it, it's actually going to show us, hey, these pulled your information. Everything's going to be updated within the last 30 days, 100%. There are always creditors will report to other things that may monitor. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They're not actually regulated to do it consistently. It'll pull that data and give you an estimate based off of it, which is called a soft pull. Is not nearly as accurate, but at that point, it is also not reported to the credit bureaus that that information was pulled. So
would you say a hard pull goes back further, or are you saying it's just more within a certain time frame?
It's more within a certain time frame because they legally have to report that's pulled on a hard report.
But what's it show? Tell them why would you get a soft pull compared to a hard pull? Why do we require a hard pull compared to a soft pull as a mortgage person? That's what he's asking.
Because it pulls way more data from it.
Like what? Give examples. Lates.
Correct. It'll show it'll show specific payments on that.
Remember, people don't understand what we do, right? So talk to, if I was a kindergartner and you were trying to teach me the difference between a soft pull and a hard pull and what a hard pull shows that a soft pull doesn't and why we have to get a hard pull.
Well, for example, you have an American Express credit card. They legally have to report it to the credit bureaus and that will show up on that.
On what? What's that? A hard pull?
A hard credit pull.
But it will not on a soft pull.
It may not. It's just up to them. Yeah.
It's just up to who's them?
American Express.
So American Express say, I'm not showing soft pull.
Correct, or they just forget to because they are not legally required to. So there is not nearly.
They probably
as many.
don't do it because it's more work.
Correct. So there are information. There's accounts that aren't going to completely show up. You pull it, it may not even show lates that are actually there. So there's a lot of information that may have not been reported, but that is actually going to show up on a hard credit pull when it actually pulls a complete data pull.
Right.
I'm not a tech person. I don't know the ins and outs of why it does that.
We're not asking why. We're just asking what the difference is.
Right. It's just some information that's not being reported correctly.
So soft pulls are not a thorough pull of your credit. For example, there could be a dispute on there that is not showing up on a soft pull, which makes your credit score look 729. But when in mortgage, you can't have that dispute. In order to get a mortgage, you have to have the dispute removed. It could drop you to a 619.
Right.
So that's why you have to have a hard pull. Also, like he said, that some late payments and stuff might not report. Some cards might not report at all. So there's no way for us to be able to tell whether you're truly qualified from a credit standpoint with a soft pull. We pull the hard pull up front, and just our service is second to none. I call it white glove service. I'm not worried about other people calling you because they aren't going to be able to do what we do. So
like a soft pull is like trusting someone, like trusting their word, but a hard pull would be more so like checking their pocket.
And I trust everybody.
Pretty much.
I verify everything. Trust but verify. I'm like the CIA. Wait, no, we don't trust them. Oh, yes, we do. Sorry, CIA. So what's going on, Ben? What else we got? The credit, I think the updated credit is great. Thank you for explaining hard pull versus soft pull to the American people. Remember, these are working class folk, so they aren't in the financial industry. I know you grew up very privileged.
Oh, my God.
You were, what was it, white collar? Us blue collar people need detailed explanation.
I mean, it's just kind of hard because I don't understand. I'm not a tech person, so I don't necessarily
Well, it's not
understand.
the tech. We were looking for it, and you did a good job of what it does show and doesn't.
Right. But it's different because of the tech, and I just don't understand.
Gotcha.
But ultimately, it's just the amount of information that shows.
So we need to get a nerd on the show to explain it.
Pretty much.
I love nerds.
So
The candy, too.